I started Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which has been sitting on my shelf for about a month and a half.
Yeah, didn't that come out last November or something?
I think it was. Yeah, I certainly didn't buy it upon release. They had EA had a Facebook deal of the day thing where if they got a certain number of likes, you could grab it for $22 or something like that. So
I missed out on that.
I hit on it. I got it.
Nice.
I like it. It's fun. It's very well, it's Criterion. It's the folks that did Burnout Paradise.
And I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too. Which is probably the last sort of racing game of this type that I've spent a lot of time with, that I got really addicted to. And it definitely sort of has the trappings of that. It definitely feels like that.
So it's got that arcadey feel where you can just kind of hop in and have a good time right away.
Yeah, definitely. And
Awesome.
It's good at sort of throwing objectives at you. It's good at sort of giving you if you choose, it gives you a world that you can sort of drive around and look for races, look for competition. It's really excellent at sort of saying, hey, it always comes down to Freaky Zeke. Your friend Freaky Zeke got beat this race against these competitors in 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Do you think you can beat him?
Yeah, I've heard the leaderboard system in that game is really robust to keep
it's
that
nutty. It's always
going.
sort of telling you, you beat your friend by 36 seconds. Do you want to post to his wall that you beat his score? So you just hit X and it posts. Next time that he starts up his game, it'll go, hey, Randy beat you by 13 seconds. Do you want to try to beat his score? So it's really good at sort of like stoking that competitive fire.
Excellent.
That said, the whole thing feels very sort of clinical, though. It feels very static.
I'm curious, does it still have the sort of the open world element that Burnout Paradise had? Because that was sort of like what their big departure with that. I'm curious if they brought it along.
It's there.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a free drive. I believe there's a free drive mode. I've not really poked around with it too much. I've been doing the very sort of just sort of clicking through the menu and going through the challenges as they present themselves. You alternate between being the cops and pursuing the criminals, the speeders, the racers. And as you do more and more races, they give you more weapons to sort of shut down these big races, which are kind of fun. You can call in like a helicopter strike. You can set up a roadblock and
chopper
stuff like
gunner.
That. Spike strips. You can drop spike strips out of the back of your car.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and so in the races where you're not a cop, you get to be the racer, and you have to outrun the cops. And it's very gratifying to slam a cop off the side of the road and watch his car go spiraling out.
In the game.
And in the game, of course. No,
Yeah, don't do this in real life, kids.
No, I would not propose such antisocial behavior in real
Or
life.
at least ask your mom and dad first.
Yeah, so it's still there. You can still sort of drive around and do that kind of stuff. I haven't done a lot of it because I'm okay with sort of just going off a list of challenges. I don't really need to drive around, but I know that it sort of does open up other opportunities and things like that for you. It has a leveling system. You earn XP and blah, blah, blah. You get new cars, blah, blah, blah. That's sort of pretty standard for the course, I think, at this point. But it does. All of it sort of seems very sort of like... and again, maybe it's sort of a similar Killzone thing, or maybe it's just that I play too many games. But it all seems very sort of by the book. There isn't a lot to it other than that social competitive part that feels significantly different from a lot of other racers, or significantly different from Burnout Paradise in that regard. So, and again, I probably have only put maybe 4 or 5 hours into it, but at what point does this become crazy over the top fun? In the 19th hour, is that too long to wait? So it's, I just don't know how much more there is for me to want to do with it. I had fun with what I was doing, but it's not exactly calling me to come back to it.
And yet this game
maybe it will
manage to get, I think a lot of critics called it the best racer to come out last year. And there's definitely no shortage of racing games last year, so I'm sort of curious.
It was nuts.
Sounds like you're not having
it was
an amazing...
I would say Blur is better than this.
Okay.
At least Blur is more fun than this.
I was a huge fan.
Well, I mean, you've been playing this by yourself, though, right?
I have, yeah. I've not actually played online against other components.
So you should try it online before you call it, then, because...
I suppose that's true, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably one of the reasons why Blur was so enjoyable. You always played it with other people.
Right. And Blur was no fun by myself.
Yeah, see, there you go.
I don't think I touched
So that's true. That's a good point.